Greetings. This is the Dungeon Master, and we are going to be streaming session 1 of Heroes Wanted 2. This campaign takes place in the same world as Heroes Wanted, but today we're going to be joining a group of PCs that are mostly non humans and therefore they do not come from the same human dominated area as the other party in the other game. We're going to be joining Fonkin, a gnome wizard, Kaladin, an Asimir cleric, Tempest cleric, Rikver, a halfling rogue, Rinnel, a Furbolg druid, Theridin, a dwarven barbarian, and Zaraxin, a blue lineage dragonborn sorcerer. These guys have all met up at various points. Kaladin and Zaraxin spent some time together in the Dragonborn lands to the southeast, and that is where Kaladin learned his storm-based powers, and together they traveled where they met up with Theridin and Rikver. Rikver was a wandering halfling traveling the world who came upon Theridin's tribe of barbarians, and through spending time with them and telling them the tales of his travels, it awakened Theridin's desire for glory and adventure. So he left with Rikver to go seek that adventure, and together they met up with Kaladin and Zaraxin and spent some time traveling together. And I've allowed the players to come up with a little background adventure that they partook in together before they met up with the rest of the party. So, did one of you have something you wanted to contribute to that?
We did, in fact, come up with a nice little adventure. While we were traveling around, we met up with this guy, shady character, and apparently he had stolen some treasure from some high up people. And in order to keep a low profile, he buried it. But he buried it during a storm and didn't quite remember where it was at. So he ended up hiring us to try and help find it for a cut of the treasure. Well, he kind of remembered the general location, and when we were getting close, supposedly to uncovering it, he decided to betray us, and we ended up with no treasure and a dead client and no money.
Still hate that filthy bugger.
Mm-hmm.
I see. And is this something that you guys have some basically guilt about having to have killed this man?
I don't feel no guilt for that.
No, I mean he initiated it. We wouldn't have killed him otherwise, but when he comes at you trying to kill you, you gotta return it.
I see. Excellent. So after dealing with this client who attempted to betray and attack them, the group pressed onward, where they came across a most unusual halfling who turns out to be a gnome wizard in disguise. And Rikver could tell right away that this halfling was not, typical for halflings. He had strange mannerisms for a halfling, and eventually, through traveling together for several weeks, um, it became apparent that this was a gnome an almost mythical creature, even in these lands far from the humans. All of the fey creatures are thought to have left this land a long time ago. And so to encounter a gnome is a very strange occurrence. And so Fonkin, uh, came to trust this group enough to reveal his true nature, but continues to disguise himself as a halfling whenever others are encountered so as not to arouse suspicion and alarm. Together, they traveled to the coast where they encountered a group of pirates, and although there are many kinds of pirates in this world, these pirates happen to be your typical savage Captain Hook-esque pirates who were cruel to a furbolg that they had imprisoned and used as forced manual labor. And the party observed this during the day and decided that they couldn't just leave this poor young creature to suffer. And so they snuck into the pirate encampment at night and freed the Furbolg. And though he doesn't know what he is, nor does the party, for as I said, all fey creatures are very rare, and if Fonkin knows what Rinnel the Furbolg is, he hasn't told him as of yet. They've only been traveling together for a short time after they rescued Rinnel, and they have come across a halfling encampment, a makeshift campground of tents where they've set up some picnic tables and have cleared away some of the trees in order to make room to grow some crops while they still can before the winter sets in. So they stopped and helped the halflings with some of the work in exchange for being fed hot meals and given relative safety and shelter. Together, they have spent the last week and a half or so just kind of clearing out all of the brush and working together with these halflings. However, something that Rickver knows that the rest of the party doesn't know as well because they are not as well traveled, especially not in this area, is that this is deep goblin and orc territory, and the risk of coming across one of them if you were to leave alone into the forest trails is pretty great, as the goblinoid races in this world are very Tolkien-esque goblinoids. It's not that they lack motivations beyond simply killing and brutality. It's that they're I forget the word, obligate carnivores. They only eat meat. They cannot sustain themselves with anything but meat, and so they view all other races as acceptable forms of obtaining that meat. And so, especially because most of the other races tend to um, look down upon and attack them anyway, they have basically come to the realization that they should just attack humanoids when they see them. And so if you guys were to encounter goblins or orcs, you would be in great danger, and Rickver happens to know that recent movements by some of the humans far to the north of here have forced these orcs southward, and now they have taken up residence in these woods, and he doesn't know exactly where they're at, but he knows that several large bands of orcs and goblins have moved into this area recently. So yeah, you guys are free to discuss amongst yourselves what's going on, what your ultimate goal is moving on from here. If Rickver wants to share any of that information with anybody, or if you guys wish to speak to any of your halfling hosts, go ahead and do so now. We're not in combat, so it's not turn based, although, do try to not all speak at once.
Oh my god, the rush.
Well,
So I guess as Rickfer, I'm going to talk to Zefzana and ask, you know, about any goings on, any orc sightings, any, goblin sightings, trying to get the lay of what's been going on, any sort of dangers, just in a general sense.
Zevzana over the campfire says, "Oh, yeah, we've encountered the Greenskins. I had a fearsome battle with a band of goblins. I killed every single last one of them, but not before they killed 3 of our friends and took my left hand. But I paid that bastard back. I drove my short sword deep into his eye and out the back side of his head."
Yeah, damn.
I think we need to make sure that we keep our eyes wide open while we're out here.
Oh, if they come back, they'll be tasting the sting of my blade.
From your right hand this time.
Yeah, luckily I've always been a bit ambidextrous, but it has been a bit of a struggle learning to use only one hand.
So I could imagine.
I'm gonna ask Flinnard if there's been anything strange going on in the woods recently, something that couldn't be explained by orcs or goblins.
Flinnard is deep in the middle of one of his uh, flute jam sessions where he is just making up the song as he goes. It's not even based on anything. He didn't start playing a song and just get lost in it. He just kind of goes off on his flute making up a song. He's deep in the middle of one of his sessions, so he doesn't hear you.
And I think it would be rude to interrupt such a deep musical session, so I'll ask the same question to Corbel.
Corbel and Lyra are kind of around the fire, not really dancing, but tapping their feet and listening to Flinnard play his music while discussing the day's events and the week's plans with Fonkin and Zaraxin. And um, as you lean over to Corbel and ask him, if there's been any trouble in the woods, he says, "Yeah, not long before we came here and you guys came, we were further to the north, and we came across a group of goblins and they attacked us in the middle of the night like the cowards that they are. They they killed my brother, two of the others, but Zevzana, bless her, she is the bravest warrior I've ever known. She fought and killed each and every last one of them.
Now, to lighten the mood, I'll use prestidigitation to accompany Flinnard's melody a little bit.
Okay. And it appears that Theroden is wandering over to enjoy the show. What prestidigitation effect did you have in mind?
I had musical notes in mind, just a little something to accompany what Flinnard's playing,
Ah, I see. So
not to overshadow him.
yeah, kind of just blending in together.
Mm-hmm.
So as you create little percussion and string sounds to gently accompany the flute's music, um, the performance is enhanced significantly, and everybody kind of turns and looks and sees that you have a smile on your face, and they start to piece together that you are using some sort of trickery or possibly even magic to do this, and the only magics that are really known about are like shamanistic magics that would be used um, by a lot of the more primitive and tribal cultures around here. Um, Halflings occasionally will have like um, tricksters who can do sleight of hand and pretend that they're doing magic, but real magic, because the humans have hunted down and killed magic users for so long, and because the Dragonborns, who are some of the only natural sorcerers left in the world, are so xenophobic and isolated, um, nobody has really seen magic their whole lives. And so that was a real treat for them to be able to witness something like that. They're too awestruck and nervous to question or discuss it with you, but they've kind of pieced together that you might have some sort of magical powers.
Do I notice them doing this?
You can roll perception, and it's one of your macro options on your token so that you can just click right on it.
Got it.
You do not. You are young and very amused with yourself for your little trick, and because magical powers are not shunned in Dragonborn society, you think nothing of it. You've only spent a little bit of time with someone from the human lands, Kaladin, and although he's told you that humans don't trust magic and are known to arrest and even kill magic users, um, you're not around humans, and dragonborns are very powerful and prideful, And so you're like, yeah, I'll use my magic if I want, and any human that tries to stop me is going to regret it.
Right.
It tells Raxian, chill out with the magic a little bit. Hold it in. Let's save it for maybe times that we will really need it. Let's not spook our company.
Is
Is there
this something you whisper to him so as not to draw attention?
Yes.
Hmm. I consider what Funkins told me, and for the sake of keeping the peace, I'll let the music die out a little bit and move on my way.
Okay. So this continues for some time. You guys are, enjoying your food, your drink, you're enjoying the warmth of the fires, the music, everybody's having a good time. But now it's starting to get late.
Uh, I think that we should start working out, maybe getting some rest. But with the stories we heard of the last night attack with goblins, I think maybe we'd keep somebody out and watch.
I'll stand up first watch.
I don't mind taking second watch if needed.
I don't mind sleeping through the whole night, so carry on.
Why does that not surprise me?
I'll
Do
disregard this conversation and just go straight to bed.
do we have like a goal for tomorrow? So anything we're getting up early for, or
Yes. So because this is going to be a semi-permanent living situation for these halflings, they intend to get various areas set aside for growing crops in order to store up enough food stores for the winter when they can't grow anything. And so Corbel is going to be asking anyone who can help, but especially the more physically capable of you. So not you, Fonkin. Um, but the rest of anybody with a above average strength score, he wants them to come help him just kind of work the soil, clear rocks, and get it ready to be planted. And then Lyra is going to be going and gathering water from the nearby stream and also foraging along the way for anything that she can find as far as berries or fruits or roots, whatever.
Brief, quick note. I can't see her name, Lyra.
Oh, um, let me fix that. And then, as always, Zefzana is going to be um, guarding the camp, and Flinnard is kind of the brains of the operation. So he spends most of his time um, planning and designing and making sure that everybody is assigned to the tasks that are best suited for them, etc. So, um, just that you guys know, some of you do have to share tents because although you have your own bedrolls, these are tents that the halflings have, and even though there's three of their party who are no longer here, so they do have extra tents, they don't have a tent for everybody to have their own tent.
Tent buddies!
I'll keep you warm, Rickler.
Like a lumpy solid pillow.
So, Kaladin, are you standing watch?
I am.
And Rinnel, are you standing watch or going to sleep, or what are you going to do?
I'll also stand watch at least for the first portion of the night.
Just come wake me up when it's my watch.
So, as everybody begins to yawn and get sleepy, Flinnard finally tires of playing his flute and decides to call it a night, and the halflings pack it in. Zefzana decides to take the middle watch, the hardest watch to take as you get broken sleep, and so she is going to bed now, but will be awoken or wants to be awoken by you guys when your watch ends.
Got it.
All right. So the halflings have all called it a night, and you guys are left wandering around on watch doing what you do typically, which would include any kind of basic upkeep of your weapons and armor and practicing any of your maneuvers and techniques and special um, abilities that you would have. Um, so as you guys are looking around, why don't both of you go ahead and roll perception checks? So, Rinnel, you think you hear something like the snapping of a twig off in the woods to the north on the map face.
Can I quietly motion for Kaladin, like a "Shh, hey, come over here" kind of thing?
Yes, but Kaladin needs to roll perception to see if he notices you uh, trying to motion for him because he's over there looking around, barely noticing what's going on. Ah, okay, there it is. So he does manage to notice you being like, "Hey, tss, tss." So he looks over and you're pointing off into the woods, indicating that you thought you heard something. What do you guys do?
Start to see what we can perceive up to the north. Keep a bit of an eye out. I don't want to veer too far from the camp, just in case we miss something coming from a different side. But I'd like to at least have a look about.
So how far from like where I'm standing now do I think I heard this noise coming from?
It was fairly close, within 20 yards.
Let's see. I'll just move up a little bit closer to the edge of the woods, maybe. See if I can discern any other kind of movement. See anything?
Now, do you have dark vision?
That's a good question. I don't believe so. No.
Kaladin does.
Okay. So,
Maybe Kaladin should move up here.
Kaladin, you're peering off into the trees, and you can see beyond the light cast by the fire there, which on your screen you actually can. And so as you're peering around, um, I believe it would be investigation to try and spot these things that are hiding, if indeed there is something hiding.
Okay.
And then yeah, you just hit skills, your macro button that says skills, and it pulls up your whole list of skills. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not on there.
That's not on there. I have another macro for a different game that has all of the skills set up, but I don't have that set up for the 5th edition sheet.
It's okay. I just pulled it from the stat sheet.
Okay, so you can see, but you don't see anything other than trees.
Okay.
Perhaps if you walked into the woods and looked around some more.
I'm gonna. I'll go check it out, but I'm going to let Renal know that I'll be heading up to try to keep an eye on both me and the camp as best he can. We don't want to leave the camp completely unguarded, and we want somebody to be able to raise the alarm in case there is an issue. But yeah, I'll go check it out.
So you begin to walk into the woods. Rinnell, what are you doing?
I'll move up just kind of to the edge of where he left, kind of keeping an eye on the rest of the camp and trying to at least follow where I hear him moving into the woods as best I can.
Okay. So, Kaladin, once again, you are going to need to roll investigation. All right. So, you are looking around, and although you can't really see much, what you did notice was movement to your right and slightly down.
Got it. Is there a visible way that I can approach? Like, is that So I noticed movement. Did I notice the direction that it was going?
Just like movement in place. Like you noticed, like
Got it. So potentially,
it could be a tree branch moving.
okay.
It
Or
could,
something that's
or a
just
squirrel.
moving where it's at, but
Yeah,
yeah.
or a squirrel running up a tree.
Okay. I'm
Can
going
I
to
use produce
Oh,
flame to
okay.
go ahead and light up where I'm at right now?
Everybody hold right where you're at. And you're about to produce flame? Yes, produce flame. Okay, so you have a ball of flame in your hands that lights up, and I believe it lights up as a torch.
Yeah, that's right. You just hold
Oh
up the
no,
C.
no, it's like a candle, 10 and 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set that. I don't have the macro set up to automatically do that for you. I don't think. No, I don't. So let me
well,
get that set up.
I can also cast the light cantrip on a tree out towards where I think I heard the sound.
Right, but for right now, uh, the only thing that was done was you moved forward and Rinnel cast produce flame, and then as soon as you take that step, all of a sudden, two goblins jump out from behind the tree and stab at you with their scimitars. Both of them hit you, slashing at you for 8 and 4 slashing damage. They drop you. So you are at 0 hit points. So click on your token and reduce your hit points by 12.
Now, do I hear anything as these goblins uh, launch their attacks on him? Or...
Oh, absolutely. You hear the goblins shout an attack and start swinging at him, and you hear their blades bouncing off of his armor and shield before finding purchase, and you hear him scream out in pain as they cut him down.
Is
Now, for
this
the rest
loud
of
enough
us
to
in
wake
the
up anybody?
yeah, Zaganrik and Baleson.
Everybody rolls perception at disadvantage.
Would potentially Rickfer get a normal roll due to me just rolling over and smacking him in the face by accident?
Well, because Rickver rolled a 1 there. Oh, he didn't roll a 1. I'm sorry. He rolled a 3 with a -2. Wow. So it wasn't a nat 1. I was going to say maybe he was so out of it that he got you, but it doesn't matter because Theridin, through your snoring, you happen to hear Kaladin scream right in between when you snore breathing in and when you snore breathing out.
By God, what was that? I wake up Rickver.
Can I rush into the woods where I heard the goblins attack Kaladin?
Yes. But first, everybody needs to roll initiative that, whether you're awake or not, roll initiative, and then on your turn is when you get to roll again.
Oh, my turn, eh?
Not yet. Hold on. Just
Okay.
who else hasn't rolled?
Oh, I'm sorry. I started my move. I'm going. I got a 38, by the way. It's not going to be you.
Rinnell, you can click on your token and then you'll see initiative. Just click that.
Oh, I thought I clicked it. It said 29 on the side. Click it again.
I think it doesn't work if you didn't have the character selected. It's like a
Oh, I
bug.
see.
Yeah, yeah. You need to use the token macro action.
Okay. Are we ready or?
Hang on.
Okay. So now I do this.
So I can move now?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'm going to bolt outside and see what's going on here. See Rinnell and ask him what the hell that was.
So Kaladin and I thought we heard something in the woods, and he ran in, and I don't know. I heard him scream. It sounded like knives hitting plate armor. I'm not sure.
I think I see some little buggers out there. And I will. Can I see them through the woods, or is it? I've got night vision, but I know woods can obscure.
Now that they have jumped out and attacked Kaladin, you can absolutely see the goblins as they are still standing over their fallen foe, having just cut them down.
Okay. If I cast Rage, am I still able to do an attack this turn?
Yeah, rage is a
Yes.
bonus action.
Yeah, rage doesn't use an action.
Okay. I'd like to cast Rage. So if I can find it.
It's right on your. All you have to do is click your token, and then it's right up on top under your macros.
Yes, there we go. Perfect. All right.
And then that will automatically apply the damage when you attack, but it will not make sure that you use advantage on your strength checks and everything. So you have to remember to click advantage on those things.
Okay. I'm going to throw a hand axe at the first goblin. And I don't get advantage for that because that's dexterity, correct?
Correct. throwing one of your two hand axes at the goblin that is closest to the edge of the trees and you have the clearest shot at. You the axe slams into the goblin's shoulder. It takes him off his feet and knocks him prone.
All right, I think that's it for my turn.
And then you should see in the chat an option that says done. If you click that, yep.
So upon being waken up, I run out of the tent right after Theroden. Obviously, I hear those two chatting about what's happened, but I still can't. I guess I do have vision, eh? And then I can use my short bow to shoot at the other goblin.
Oh, and now bear in mind that although I'm allowing you guys to grab your weapons, none of the sleeping party members will have their armor on.
Okay.
Problem for me. I sleep on natural.
Oh no.
What do you think that pillow was?
Does that mean there is currently a dwarven barbarian in the buff out there chucking axes at goblins?
It's
Size
barbarian.
medium.
I don't need armor.
Oops, I gotta fix your ammo too. Okay, so Rickver fires an arrow at the goblin. Did you fire that one at the first goblin that you can see there that you have a clear shot on? Because if you're trying to fire at the other one, you actually needed to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. I was trying to shoot at the first one, but I didn't
Okay.
want to.
I thought I saw the effect on the second one, so I just wanted to be clear. So if you shot the first one,
Yeah.
you hit it, and even though he's prone, you still managed to hit him and drive an arrow straight through his heart, and he drops dead.
Excellent.
Man, you shot him so hard he managed to drop even lower.
Oh, he's picking himself up, man. You know.
True, true.
So he's Chumbawamba.
His
Nope.
his blood joins your fallen comrades on the ground. Okay, so give me just 1 second. I'm gonna fix Rickver's thing right away, and then I'll do the goblin's turn. I'll still do it within my 300-second timer there. All right, that should be fixed. The goblin, having seen you guys kill his friend so quickly, decides that this encampment is more well armed and ready to defend itself than they thought. They were only here to scout you guys out and steal something if possible, but having lost his friend and with Kaladin being out of the fight, the goblin uses the run action and disappears into the woods. And that is his turn.
So are we still in combat? And am I awake?
Technically, we are still in combat, although you guys have lost sight of your target, of your opponent. So as far as, you know, combat goes, no, you're not in active combat like that, but we are
Okay.
still going to remain in initiative order until um, you guys decide what you're going to do here. So we're just going to take everybody's turn.
Gotcha.
Now, because nobody took the time to wake you up, and you failed your perception check to wake up to the sound of the battle, you are not awake, unfortunately. However, you do get another roll to try and notice the sound of battle, so you can roll perception at disadvantage.
Or let's go ahead and do that then.
You continue
So,
to dream happily of your life back at your Dragonborn encampment and your adventures yet to come.
so question.
Yes.
How come I did minus 12 instead of just taking my health down to 0? And how come I wasn't in turn order to get a chance to roll death saves?
Did you not roll initiative?
I did. I got a 19 with my token highlighted too.
I don't know why you're not in the order. Let me. Okay, yeah, that added you just fine. Um, so go ahead and roll your death save, and it takes you down to negative 12 because there's nothing that I can do about that. We all know the rule in 5th edition that you just go to 0 hit points, but you know, it just ignore what it does with the bar there. I just have you enter in the damage so that it's not confusing ever.
Okay.
There. So you failed your death save. So if you want to go ahead and open up your sheet, I can't have the macro put in the fails or successes or anything like that. So just go ahead and mark one of them
I already
as
have it marked.
okay.
Okay, can I use my turn to run through the woods to Kaladin and use a spell slot for Cure Wounds?
Yes. So you don't have to run. You can just move up, and then you have. Oh, that's what we needed to do. Hold on. What are the prepared spells? Obviously, Cure Wounds is going to be one of them here, but I need to set for your character what your prepared spells are because you have more macros than that. I just to make life easier on you, I didn't turn on your level 1 spells that you don't have prepared. So now I'm turning on Cure Wounds. Is there another level 1 spell that you want prepared, such as Thunder Wave or Entangle, or do you just want to prepare Cure Wounds twice?
Cure wounds once, and then entangle.
Okay. So now, if you click off of and then back onto your character, you will have both of your other macros available to you.
Okay.
So then just click Cure Wounds and it'll walk you through the targeting and all that. So you healed Kaladin for 6 hit points. So Kaladin, you can go ahead and add those hit points to your red bar, and you are no longer on the ground dying. Now you're just on the ground.
Next to a dead goblin.
Your bloods are touching. Ew.
You're like blood brothers.
You suck at fighting.
Hmm.
Well, I think the real lesson here is don't get jumped by multiple creatures. So is that your turn then, Rinnell?
Yeah. How do I?
You
How do I done this?
just scroll up in the chat and click done. I also have a button that I can just click to click done, but I really hate to end people's turns for them, you know.
Go ahead and click it for me because I don't see it. I don't see the done chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Funkin hears a lot of commotion, but it just bothers him. He's gonna stay asleep.
Nice.
I'm going to move up to the goblin and retrieve my axe.
Your axe is buried deep in the goblin's shoulder blade. Make a strength check in order to pull it out. And since you're still in a rage, you do this at advantage.
Where do I find the strength check?
Okay,
Sorry. Is that
so
under skills?
yeah, under skills at the bottom, you'll find untrained ability checks.
Unskilled, okay. But let's see.
And then you just do strength at advantage. So with all of your dwarven might, using your schmedium size, you yank your hand axe out of the goblin's bone, breaking the collarbone, and his arm just kind of limply dangles there.
And wipe blood off and resheathe my axe. And am I able to move again with my remaining?
No, you
Okay.
spent your turn gathering your axe, and then you're just kind of caught up in your rage as you stand over your fallen foe, looking at your bloodied weapon. Your barbarian and dwarven natural hatred of the goblins just kind of takes over, and you kind of go into that primal, like, Yeah, this is my fallen foe moment.
Excellent.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna move up and see if I can't maybe get my arrow back.
Okay. So, the way it works is you can spend an action to recover half of your spent arrows, but you only used one arrow. And so you're you're not going to recover half of an arrow, and I'm not going to just say that you can't recover an arrow. So I'm going to roll 1d100, and if it's 51 or above, then you recover your arrow, and if not, then not.
Woo! Oh,
So your arrow, unfortunately, is not recoverable. Like I said, you sank it deep into the goblin's heart, and as you attempt to remove it, you break the head off the shaft, and you just have to make a new arrow.
damn goblins.
Told you to be careful taking that out.
I could have been more careful if you didn't break his shoulder.
Well, somebody had to do something.
So the goblin, you can hear, continues to run deep into the woods. You can barely hear him now.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a heal on myself.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and cast Cure Wound myself. It's not up there, is it?
You got to use the token macro for cure wounds.
It's not up there.
On your
Uh,
token again.
oh, it's not up there.
No.
Did you not? Oh, what is going on? Okay, I will get that fixed for you. That I will make a note of for in between sessions here. I don't know why that's not up there. But it did work to tell you how many hit points were healed, so put yourself all the way
Okay.
at full. And then in your blue bar, subtract 1. And I will get the macro working so that it works like everybody else's fancy stuff.
Okay. And as a bonus action, is yeah, that's an action. So I can still use a bonus action, I'm assuming, unless it's an issue if
Yes.
the bonus action is a cantrip. Okay.
Well,
Um,
well, wait. You can't cast 2 spells in one turn.
okay. Then my turn's done.
What were you going to do though? Just because rule of
I was just
cool.
gonna I was just gonna use the light cantrip on a tree down where I hear and see the goblins running off to, just to light up the area.
I will allow that, just like I said, rule of cool, and it, progresses everything. You're trying to follow the goblin and all of that. So, absolutely.
Okay. Do I see anything? Nothing lit up.
Well, it is quite a way, away from where you're at. So you can see the shadow of the goblin because um, Oh wait, you can't cast light on something that you're not touching.
I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got to
Oh,
you got to be
okay.
you got to be touching it. Never mind.
Okay. No worries.
Zaraxin, you can roll perception again to wake up, but at this point, it looks like the combat is going to be over. So pretty much everybody's either going back to sleep or they're going to come wake you up anyway.
So unless somebody comes and wakes me up, I'm still gonna be asleep.
Right, you can roll perception if you would like your character to wake up, um, but at this point, it's pretty much either the combat is over, or if they desire to go chase after the goblin, they're likely going to come wake you up.
So I'm still nice and cozy.
You there, Rinnell?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I thought I had my microphone on, but it was muted. Okay. Should we wake up the others? What do you guys think?
Most definitely.
Kaladin's back up to
We,
full. He's ready to get beat down again.
Um, so the goblin that's running off looks like he's probably, unless we're gonna chase after him, he's gonna get away. But he could bring back more. So I think we should probably go around and get everybody up, or at least a few more people. Maybe make a bit of a perimeter.
agreed. It's too dark. We can't be overextending ourselves. You saw what happened before.
I mean, Kaladin is pretty clumsy and not very quick with his reflexes. So could have been that, but we don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to chase goblins into the forest at night.
No,
Guys,
I'm not eager about doing that either. Okay, so I'll use my turn to go over to Zaraxin's tent, kind of yell at him to get up.
Okay, so walking down and yelling Zaraxin, you roll um, perception, this time not at disadvantage since somebody is very close and shouting your name. I was going to say there's almost no way you can mess this up, but
heavy sleeper.
sometimes you're a heavy sleep. I guess when you live with a bunch of like half dragon people, the snoring is probably pretty thunderously loud. Yes, exactly. Fonkin, you should probably roll perception just to see how much the shouting is disturbing your sleep. You don't have to get up, but I just want to know how much it's disturbing your attempts to continue to slumber.
Am I rolling an advantage now, or
No, just roll regular, normal. Somehow you will yourself to sleep through it. In your dream, you know how sometimes when your phone or alarm goes off when you're asleep, all of a sudden in your dream you can hear that. In your dream, you can hear Rinnell shouting, but you just continue to sleep through it.
yeah, that sounds perfect for my character.
Cat lazy magic using sons of. I'm going to storm angrily into the middle of camp. Let's see. And can I potentially use my intimidation in some form to help wake people up? Or
Oh,
is that inaccurate for this?
no, absolutely. Although I would never allow a player to use something like intimidation to force another player into doing something that they just would not do or, do not want to do.
Sure.
We're talking about, a very organic role playing situation where it's like everybody needs to wake up now before I start to,
Yeah.
kick
Yeah, I'm getting
butts
pissed
and
off that
yeah,
nobody's waking up.
yeah,
Like, we got people dying out here.
So at the end of the day, in that instance, I'll absolutely allow you to roll intimidation with a set difficulty class in order to kind of shake everybody into compliance.
And that'll be normal, advantage, disadvantage.
That'd be normal. Unless I tell you guys advantage or disadvantage, always just assume normal.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about calling for advantage or disadvantage. So what happens is you want to be intimidating and tough, but you've known these people, for such a short time that you're not as comfortable as you are with Rickver. With Rickver, you'll be like, get up now before I cut off another foot, and you'll be walking around as a quarterling. Yeah, and excellent, yeah. And you don't have to whisper stuff like that. You can
Oh,
just
okay.
and you can just say it in the chat and everything. So you hear Theroden kind of half yelling, but still pretty softly and not using any real threats or cuss words like he usually does, trying to intimidate everybody into waking up, but it really doesn't have the desired effect that he was going for.
So I hear him yelling in the middle of camp like he's had a bad dream or something, and I tell him not to wake me up and unless something important's going on, and I go back in my camp and use prestidigitation to cast draconic runes on the ground in front of my tent, and I tell everybody that it's actually a magic trap and not to come get me until morning.
Filth.
Now, did I hear what he just said?
Yeah, I mean, if he did that,
I
then
wasn't being quiet.
yeah, then you absolutely heard, and the halflings are now up and they witnessed this as well, and they are in like shock.
Guess I'm gonna check out the goblin, see if he had any like loot or anything else on him. Scimitar or anything. That that we could maybe sell for gold or?
Okay, so all of the Goblin's equipment is extremely crudely made. However, yes, he does have a scimitar and a short bow on him.
We need to roll anything to actually get it off.
No, you don't need to do anything to get it off of him. He's dead, so he gives it up quite easily. Um, but
But
he
never know if you trip over the body while picking up the short bow and it snaps in half.
no, I I don't know what DMs have done that, but that's a little ridiculous to break an item just for trying to pick it up. He does also have leather armor, but again, this is crudely stitched together and now reeking of goblin blood. Not that it didn't already reek of goblin sweat, leather armor. Plus, it's sized for a goblin, which even though a halfling and a goblin are about the same size, it's just like different people have different proportions. Goblins and halflings are not quite the same proportions, so it would not fit very well, and so you wouldn't get your full armor bonus from it. And also, like I said, it's covered in goblin sweat and blood, so it's essentially worthless, the leather armor. The scimitar is very crude. You might be able to sell it as like a souvenir to somebody who was wanting to be like, this is a real goblin scimitar that was used by a goblin warrior. If you could find somebody like that, and it's missing a sleeve. So the scimitar is something that is essentially worthless unless you just want it as a weapon.
I
And
figured maybe the camp might be able to use it for cutting grass or something.
yeah, I mean you can always give it to them and go with that. And then the short bow, again, very crudely made. In fact, it's of inferior quality to the point that if you ever roll a 1 while attacking with it, it would just break. Um, but the arrows, although they are crudely made, are just arrows. You can use them, and there's no real mechanical difference.
And how many arrows were there?
He has 20 arrows on him, the standard quiver full of arrows.
Excellent. At least replace the one that I lost. Okay, and then I can move back towards town still, or camp, I guess.
Yeah, because it was a move action to pick up his stuff, and so you still have an action that you can use to move with. And we're out of initiative, so everybody is free to, you know, kind of gather together and figure out what the next step is here. Rinnell, I'm gonna take the produce flame off of you now.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm gonna put that out anyway, just in case any of the halflings come out. I don't want them to be freaked out about, magic fire.
Well, they did come out earlier, but I'm going to assume that you didn't have it up after the goblin was no longer a threat.
No, it's a little late to not freak him out about magic after my little outburst.
I am just gonna kind of stick my head in Zaraxon's tent, being oblivious to the fact that he's tried to stay asleep. I'm saying, hey, you need to get up. Things are going on.
All right, I'll say if you're coming in here, it must be important. You can come outside to see what's going on, and I'll ask you what exactly is going on that I need to wake up for.
I don't. Stuff was happening over by the woods. Kaladin fell over, and I had to pick him up. And then something ran off. I don't know.
So you're waking me up because Kaladin tripped?
I think someone stabbed him. There's a dead goblin out there. It was all kinds of. The barbarian ran naked into the woods. It was crazy. You missed it.
See, this is why I don't stay up for watch.
He doesn't want to get involved with naked barbarians.
Hey,
So
Eh,
I think after hearing this, maybe we head on and maybe track down where the goblin went, or would you rather do that in the morning?
I think tracking down goblins in the middle of the night in a forest we're not that familiar with would be a stupid idea.
Is there any food left on the table?
Well, I was going to assume that you guys had put the food away so as not to attract bears,
That's fair.
but if you want to have it be to where, since nobody said they put the food away, that we just roll on the random bear chart, we can do that too.
Well, Funkin's thinking maybe he'll take the remainder of the night watch, and everybody else gets some sleep. And maybe we get going in the morning and take a look and see where the goblin came down from.
I hear sleep and agree.
sounds good to me. I could use a little rest. Finally calm down from that raid. But I'll be ready to kick some ass in the morning.
All right. While all the halflings and everything are back into bed, while people can't see me, I'm going to come around to the back of our dear sleepyhead here's tent and reach in and actually touch his pillow and cast the light cantrip on it. Enjoy your sleep, cupcake.
So
now your
now,
pillow emits light, and no matter what you do, your tent is filled with light.
so Funkin is kind of scouting around the area, around the area, just keeping watch, and he's kind of seeing a little something. Is that something I should be seeing or not? Yeah, I see a goblin out in the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was hitting the wrong push to talk button there. Okay, so Zevzana stays on watch with you, and then Rinnal, are you going to bed then as well? Okay, yeah, I see you headed to the tent there. So
Hey, that's the tent with
yeah,
the pillow
yeah.
with the light.
so
I'm
no
just gonna ignore it.
no Fonkin does not see what he thinks he sees out there. That is a token that I have to have set up in order to make my macros work. So,
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty, so Funkin will just keep an eye out and keep watch.
I look for Kaladin's tent. Which one's his?
Kaladin's tent
Well, you have to take
is
and go find out, man.
I mean, I just can't see inside of any of the other tents.
I
I can see inside the one I was in.
I think his is over on the right, if I remember.
All right,
All right, go
I'm
get a
gonna
big
go
spoon and then go to sleep.
make his pillow stink in retaliation.
All right, so it looks like everybody's going to be gathering in one tent now. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody has individual tents that cannot be slept in, so now you're all just gathering in the one. And Theroden's like, so help me, anybody does anything to anything in this tent, and I'm putting you out in the woods myself.
I'm just gonna throw the pillow that Kaladin lit up. I'm just gonna toss it out of the tent.
All right, so let's all get some sleep, and then we'll check this out in the morning.
Okay, so as Fonkin and Zevzana stay watch for the rest of the night, making sure that the goblins don't come back, uh, getting spooked and jumping at every sound, you guys make it to the morning and now are waking up. Everybody kind of gathers around the table and is like, okay, like seriously, that was not cool.
All right, so we got attacked last night by some goblins. Comrade here at Kaladin took a great blow, and we have reports of goblins attacking this campsite before. I think it's time with our future ideas is that we may want to start tracking these goblins down and kind of make a worry-free zone for a little while. Kind of take care of them.
Flinnard
Agreed.
Flinnard says, well, it is true that we've had encounters with these goblins before. We are not capable enough warriors to go and attack them head on.
All right, well, I'll ask who's willing to go.
Rickver interjects that, while all's, good to try and take him out, but that there's a whole lot of orcs and goblins out there from his travels that he knows about. And, he's not quite sure that they can take out the goblins if there's, more orcs and goblins coming that way,
Funkins prides himself on his sleep time. If his sleep time gets disturbed, Funkin's not a happy pretend halfling. So I do think that we should probably just take a peek, maybe scout out a bit.
It's daytime. I'm willing to go.
We got to at least clear out a little bit of area. We don't have
Well,
to clear the whole forest.
Give us some breathing room.
I'm not resting here. What else am I gonna do?
You seem to get lots of rest here.
Yes.
And Zevzana says that she wishes she could come with you, but guarding her remaining friends is her duty.
The best defense is a good offense.
Can I ask? Can Riddle ask Sefzana if she has any idea how large of a camp or a hideout these goblins might have nearby?
We've never seen more than 6 at a time.
Is this the first time they've attacked from that area, or do they seem to come from that kind of like northeast region of the woods?
They always come from the north, and that is where we were before. There were just too many of them, so we came further south here, and now it appears that they're venturing further south as well.
I am gonna ask Zefsana if there's anything they can spare to help us, since they won't be accompanying us.
Well, we don't have much. Obviously, you're welcome to some of our food since you guys have been so helpful. Um, but, like what is it specifically that you would need or want?
Well, I wasn't thinking anything specific, just whatever, anything could help.
I don't suppose you happen to have any magically imbued amulets or Anything like that that might help us?
No, these are simple halflings. They're, not anybody special. The fact that Zevzana's even somewhat of a capable warrior is actually pretty remarkable.
Fair
All right,
enough.
there. Then we like to take point, and then maybe just get moving up north and take a look.
Does anybody need any arrows? I got a few spares.
Funkin's okay.
Real quick, I'm just looking. I need to reset my rage to 2 because I got a long rest. But I'm not seeing where I do
It's under class actions.
class.
And
Yeah,
and then also don't forget to increase your battle axe, your black bar, because you got that back, so you got to hit +1 on your black bar to replenish your thrown hand axe, not battle axe, hand axe. And then it sounds like you guys are ready to head out and track the goblin.
That we are.
Excellent. Okay, so as you are, it looked like Zaraxin died for a second there. So everybody just hold still with your tokens. I gotta transfer you to the next sheet. And it works better if I just group you all together.
Not the butt, gentlemen.
So as you guys head out into the woods, you find the goblin's tracks. As you follow his hurried footsteps, um, they lead very clearly in one direction until all of a sudden he stopped running and slowed his pace and began to hide his footsteps, and now it becomes harder. So if somebody would like to track, you can roll investigation in order to try and find his trail and follow his footsteps.
I feel confident in my tracking abilities and attempt to find out where he goes.
So you track him, and his footsteps lead off past the creek and into the deeper woods. Along the way, his footsteps lead right past a crumbling, ruined tower. It's possible that he sought shelter in there, or that this is the goblin's hideout. Maybe the ruined tower has a lower level that they hide in, like the cave dwellers that they are.
We should totally check out this tower.
Agreed.
I'm gonna interject right here if I can and just say that Reynold stayed back at the camp with the halflings just to make sure nothing maybe snuck up on them. I actually got to dip out a little early tonight. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, that's not a problem, and yeah, Rinnell, it, it makes sense for his character background to be a little bit combat shy and everything at first. So this will be good for character advancement for you to kind of sit the first combat out a little. So yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go for the evening. It's a little bit late over here, and so I'm gonna head out for tonight.
Good
All right,
night.
we're
Amen.
gonna.
All right.
Night.
Bye.
So So I do believe that we should definitely check out this little tower here.
Can you guys see the tower?
No, still on the old map.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just making sure we weren't.
No,
That
no.
wasn't stuck behind.
It
Might
takes
even
us.
find some
It takes a
resource.
second to get everything moved over. I haven't even finished
Yeah, no,
positioning your tokens just yet, but
yeah, no problem. I'm not trying to rush you. I don't know what I don't.
that's right. Carry that gnome. So you can see the path leading up to the tower. The goblin's footsteps ran right this way, or he was done running by this point, but you followed them and see that he came this way. So what do you guys do?
I'm going to take point and head on up to that tower and check it out.
Yeah, I agree there. Then let's head on up there, and I'll follow behind you.
Okay, so everybody take one movement that they want to take, and
Stumbleduck, you wish you could go up there on your own. You know you need to be carried.
you do feel pretty weak.
One gold piece and you can hop on my back.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'd like to drop my torches. If I do that, I think I'll be fine. 'Cause I don't need torches, actually.
Yeah, I can always cast a light cantrip for you if you need it.
I have dark vision. I don't really need the torches. I got a tinderbox, so I can do anything else.
Are we ready to move up again?
Okay, so
Well, it appears as though we got something up here.
Fonkin, are you gonna move?
Yep, moving on.
I'll
Uh,
let
And then, does anybody see anything? I heard somebody say something, so.
Yeah.
I see. Looks like to me, guys, I start
Yogi.
to see a little movement to the right over there. But I'm gonna assume the tree. I don't quite see it.
Okay,
Let me see if I
so
can.
Sneak through the
why
tree.
don't you go ahead and everybody roll perception?
Oof.
Oof.
We don't see nothing.
You guys are great at this.
For all my night vision, I'm blind as a bat.
Stumbleduck, baby.
So, Kaladin,
That'll do.
you can kind of hear something kind of rummaging around in the bushes. Fonkin, your life spent in the forest tells you that there is a large brown bear foraging for food in the bushes off to the right.
All right, there then is a brown bear foraging for food around on the right there.
How loud do you
So
say that?
strategy.
How loud do you say that?
I don't say it loud. I whisper it enough. Being he should be able to hear me. But
So
I'm telling
stage
him,
whisper strategy session. We lather Theoden up in honey and send him in.
mm-hmm. Theoden likes to be lathered in things.
You know that's right.
I do hope Theoden took the time to get dressed this time.
I'm wearing a loincloth, thank you.
All right, I think Theoden, I think we can take out that brown bear. Just in case we run into anything else, we don't need him around.
All right. So we going through these trees, see if we can sneak up on them a little bit.
Now, if Rinnell was here, he would absolutely stop you, but Fonkin, as a Fey creature who grew up in basically an enchanted forest, I'm not entirely sure your character would be okay with attacking a bear. I mean, it's okay to like defend yourselves or drive it off if you need to, but unless, absolutely necessary, just like being like, hey, a bear, let's mess it up, might go a bit against your character. That's for you to decide as a player. I'm just putting it out there that, gnome, fae,
Um,
forest.
Yeah, so with Gnome Fey Forest, if Renault was here, I probably would have asked him to see if he could try to talk to the bear or something. But with my guy, he's not really able to talk, and I can suggest maybe we move on to the left a little bit and see if he just be at the ready.
he seems
Um,
aggressive.
So I've got an idea. My character decides to use prestignation, if he could, to make the sound of a injured deer right by Theoden and Caladrin.
What sound does an injured deer make?
Exactly. Ah!
Oh,
Ah!
okay. So you use prestidigitation to make a sound um, near Kaladin and Theoden. Um, if your intent was to draw the bear's attention, you have managed, as you guys hear the foraging stop, and suddenly you hear a roar as the brown bear stands up to its full height and looks around to see what's going on and sniffs the air.
Uh,
And
can sorry.
in doing so, detects intruders and prepares to charge and attack.
Funkin is now okay with this killing. The Fae say so.
I was gonna say, is it possible to do a ready up before that? Since I know he's doing the distraction to pull it over, so that I could be like ready if he gets in range.
His intent wasn't for us to be ready.
Was not.
Thanks, buddy.
He's young. He thinks he's funny. And he's a dragonborn, and society is just different.
30.
It's exploding 20s. When you roll a 20, it rolls another d20.
Ah.
That way there's never any ties.
Time.
Because, if two people have the exact same dexterity score, initiative score, and they both roll a 20, who goes first? I rolled a
Yeah.
nat 20. Well, I rolled a nat 22. Well, I have, +4 initiative. I have +4 initiative. Well, here we go. Plus it also, just makes it a little more interesting. So,
Um,
did
am I
everybody
allowed?
did everybody roll now?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to innately know creature statistics from the player guide?
I mean, not like, verbatim for all of the creatures, but if you're asking if like, you
Just like
you
it,
have a general knowledge of bears and their anatomy to, know like essentially what they're about, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Like you definitely know approximately uh you know how much um damage they can do and damage they can take and all of that.
Okay, cool.
And then as you guys can see, there's a little countdown timer. It gives everybody 5 minutes to take your turn. That way, it keeps things moving along.
You're up, Kaladin.
Okay. Since I am within reaching distance of Zaraxin and he basically just tried to get us killed, I am going to cast Inflict Wounds on him. It's not in there for me to click on him.
I didn't think you had inflict wounds.
It's a cleric spell.
Yeah, but I mean, which ones do you have prepared?
The ones that are on there.
Because
what am
I thought you had cure wounds and what is it? What's your first level spell on here?
I have a list of first level spells.
Right, but you can only have 2 of them prepared.
Oh, I thought I could have several prepared, but I only had 2 spell slots.
No. You can only have those 2 spell slots prepared.
Okay, then I can just hold my turn then.
Okay. I mean, I understand the inclination to want to, retaliate, and I'm fine with it, but we just need to make sure that we know which spells are prepared, which I assumed you would have prepared cure wounds, and since you guys were likely expecting combat, I, I assumed cure wounds again. But, whatever you want to have prepared. So just go ahead and think on that, for a second.
All right, Fonkin. Let's see here.
Oh, and then Fonkin, the same thing. Which of your first level spells do you want prepared?
I probably would do sleep and mm, and charm person, sleep and charm person. I prepare. Is it 2 or 3? Do I get for a wizard?
2, and I think it's 2. And so now if you click off of and back onto your token, you can use those 2 actions as well now.
Okay. So first I'm gonna move a little bit so I can better have view of the guy. And each square is 5 feet, right?
You also have a ruler.
What's up?
You got the ruler, it's right below the magnifying glass to double check.
All right, Fonkin would like to. I'm gonna use a firebolt on the Brian Bear now.
Brown bear.
as you move forward, casting your spell, firing a bolt of fire at the brown bear, it hits, burning the brown bear for not a whole lot of damage, but startling it. The bear kind of roars in anger and focuses on you. And then is that your turn? Yep, okay.
Yep.
Is bear fur flammable?
I mean, yes to a degree, but like it's flammable like hair. Like it's not gonna start the rest of you on fire. It's just gonna burn off and
Gotcha.
like damage you a little.
So I did my move, and can I do a ready? If he comes within 1 square, I'm gonna do a 2-hand swing. Am I coming through?
Yeah, you came through, and I just assumed he's on the wrong Discord.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So you ready your action?
yep.
Okay.
And do I need to do anything for that, or I just tell you?
Nope. You just tell me what you're doing to ready your action, and then if the trigger comes into play,
Got it.
then you interrupt and do your action.
Yeah. So I'm just swinging back my 2-hand axe, and if he comes in range, I'm gonna
Yep.
swing it.
Yep.
Still on arrow. And I'm allowed to shoot my bow at the big bear.
Big bear. Big bear chase.
See, somebody got that.
Okay. So I think that hits. I need to actually double check because that one's close. The bear has impressive but not unbeatable armor. Oh, no, never mind. They only have 1 point of natural armor. I don't know why I thought they had more. Oh well. Sucks to be you, bear. So you loose an arrow into the bear, hitting it for another 5 damage. Again, you're not exactly, taking the bear out, but it's hurt. It doesn't love it.
Let's see how the bear retaliates.
The bear retaliates by charging straight at Funkin. And with that step, it is now within your readied move actions threatened range, Theridin.
Okay.
And I thought I fixed the ammo macro for your short bow. I will have to double check and get that working.
And I know you said not to ask, but do I get advantage on this one for being readied? I don't.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty good. I'll let you guys know, but it's okay to ask. I didn't mean it like you can't ask. I just
Yeah, no, I'm learning too. Curious.
yeah, absolutely. No, it's okay. I just meant that you don't have to ask.
Gotcha.
So you swing at the bear, but the impressive size of an actually large creature against somebody who's not even really medium is too much, and it's kind of like a horse charging at you, to where the closer it gets, the bigger you realize it is, and you just kind of naturally get out of the way. And so you go to swing, but you swing wide and miss. The bear can't quite reach Fonkin, so in anger, it lashes out at Zaraxin, swiping at him with his paw, trying to knock him out of the way.
No.
15.
Oof. Nice knowing you.
So Zaraxin gets knocked down and out by the bear's massive paw. Go ahead and make a death saving throw.
So where is that? Is that under?
No, it's right on your token. You just click on your token, and then you'll see a little skull marked death save. Skull and crossbones.
Is it under like the little circle
No,
tab?
no. Up on top.
Oh,
It'd
I
be
don't
on your
actually see that.
macros.
All,
You
Oh,
said
macros.
click
Okay,
on
there we
your
go. Yeah, okay, I see it.
Yep.
There we go. Got it.
And so that is a failed death save. So right on your core page, if you scroll down, you'll see death saves. Go ahead and mark one failed death save.
Got it. Okay.
Poor Kaladin.
Yeah, so once again, Kaladin, you try to swing at the bear, but it's just so huge that getting close without getting in reach of its claws and getting uh, one shotted like Zaraxin is just proving too difficult. So you miss with your swing.
Okie doke.
Fonk.
All right. Fire another firebolt. And the bear.
Should run away first.
It's a good idea. Or I can fire firebolt, then run away.
Yeah, 5th edition's pretty easy going with how you can split up your actions like that. I'm pretty sure you can move, fire, and still move if you have movement left. All right. Launching another bolt of fire at the bear. You hit it once again, not dealing a whole lot of damage, but this time the bear reacts very poorly as you hit it basically on the face, it doesn't like it, and it's starting to like slow its approach, and it seems to be considering its options. It looks like it's starting to back up.
All right, I move down a little bit out of his area.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just go for a regular old.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, like there's a meme, um, great axe, apply directly to the source of the problem, repeat as necessary. So, swinging with all of your might down on the brown bear, you cut deep into its side, dealing it a not fatal but very telling blow that takes it almost completely out of the fight.
I'm sorry.
Get him, Rick Bear.
You can do it. Ooh.
Yeah, baby.
Quick,
Yeah.
run up behind it and stab it. You know, like a real man.
I got these extra arrows, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have all kinds of arrows to spend. All right.
It's got arrows to burn.
So launching another arrow, loosing another arrow at the bear, your arrow finds its home in the bear's neck. It gurgles and coughs up blood, raising itself up on its hind legs momentarily before falling down right at your feet.
Good shot.
All in a day's work.
I would like to take his pelt and wear it.
Okay. So now you guys find yourselves with a dead bear, and what would you like? Oh, and a dying friend. So what would you like to do?
I want to kick him.
Resuscitate the bear. Leave the friend.
I suppose
Joking.
friend was a bit of a strong word considering how this started, but
I'd say we
Yeah.
stabilize Zarax and
I'm gonna step off to the back here. It's getting pretty late here. I need to head to bed as well.
yeah, that's fine. We're just wrapping up, so you know, if you want to stick around for 2 more minutes while we wrap up, or if you gotta go, either way.
No, sure thing. 2 minutes is fine.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up. I just need to figure out what's going on with Zaraxin, so I figured somebody with some kind of healing, stabilizing powers would do that.
I mean, I have them, but I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make dying deer sounds in the woods.
All right.
Hello.
Let's see here. What is anybody gonna?
I mean, anybody can stabilize, right?
Anybody can stabilize with a heal check, And then the last thing is anybody checking out the tower now?
Funkin will go check out the tower. I guess
I'll
maybe
go
like
with him.
Okay, so as you guys go and check out the tower, you are going to find the ruined leather armor and scimitar of a recently killed goblin. And then also, you see what you see. So
Mm,
now you know why the bear was so ornery.
yeah.
So, yep, there's that. We'll deal with
It's a
all of
longer
that. We'll deal with all of that at the start of next session or even in between the sessions. You guys can let me know, what you want to do with that. Um, as far as, whether you skin the bear or not, we'll deal with that in between the sessions. Um,
Okay.
and then did somebody stabilize Zarax in there?
I
believe
would. I
they're
don't know if I can.
I don't know what the role for that.
Cal-
All right. I'll cast my cantrip.
I was gonna say Kaladin has a spell, but
Well, he'll naturally regen to 1.
Calvin deep down is a xenophobe.
We
okay.
don't really need to
I'll,
heal. Need to get him to
I'll
1.
keep him, I'll stabilize him and spare him from dying, but I'm not healing him.
Yeah, so there now you are no longer dying, and that pretty much leaves us in a good place for picking up or for stopping this week and for picking up next week. We just need to go over what you guys do with the bear cubs, and whether or not you're going to just go ahead and take a long rest here or head back to the camp or what you're going to do.
Honestly, like can we message you back on that? Because I think a lot of us just gotta run out of here.
Yeah. You just send me a message on Discord.
All right, cool. I appreciate your time very much. Thanks.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Hope you guys had fun. Have a great week. And like I said, send me messages on Discord. Thanks for playing.
sounds
Alright,
good.
yeah, this
Thanks.
was fun.
Have a good one.
All right. Or day.
Bye, guys.